Hi everybody, my name is Eric Worre and welcome to our Agile Business Briefing. You're in luck because tonight you're going to hear from one of the most premier experts in this industry. He's a good friend of yours and he's going to lay out the Agile opportunity for you. Please welcome to the stage Double Diamond Director, Mr. Randy Gage.
Thank you. Thank you. So there's a scene in The Matrix. Guy's holding this fork and he says, I know this steak isn't real, but it tastes so good, I don't want to know any different, or something to that effect. He's talking about living in the Matrix, living in this pretend world, living in this world that shouldn't be that way, that shouldn't exist that way. And that's what tonight is kind of about. Because I want to talk to you about millions of people who are living in a Matrix-like life. I think of the millions of people who are like a hamster on one of those exercise wheels, and they're just running and running and running, trying to get ahead, but they're not getting any traction. If we look at the state of the world today, we know a couple of things. We know that credit card debt is absolutely out of control. Consumer debt is at an all-time high. Personal savings is at an all-time low. I think there's millions of people that are actually working harder today than they were 10 years ago, and they're doing it to have a lower standard of life. They're busier, more frantic, more stress, more hassle, more grief, and working harder and harder. And we have 2, 3, 4 income families, people dropping off their kids in the baby jail in the morning and picking them up at night, not spending any time with them. And mom is working, dad is working, mom is waiting tables at night to make some extra money, dad is delivering pizzas at night to make some extra money. They are just encompassed with this trying to make a living that they don't have time to make a life. They're just on the hamster wheel. That's the first kind of person out there, and believe me, there's millions of them. We could say there's tens of millions of them. There's the second kind of person, and that's the person, might be a doctor, might be an attorney, might be a high-powered corporate executive. And you know what I would say about those people? I think they're winning the rat race, but they're living like a rat. See, they've got what a lot of people would call a good job. They've got what many people would believe is a good income. But you know what? The price they pay for that job, that title, the price they pay for that income, it's not worth it. Same thing. They're paying someone else to raise their kids. They might be working 65, 75, 85 hours a week. They might be wearing a beeper that's on call 24 hours a day. They might have just destroyed their health to meet their job requirements. They might be flying 750,000 miles a year. They might be away from their family all the time. They might be paying the price in their marriage, paying the price with their kids, paying the price with their other relationships. And see, I've been in both those situations, the hamster wheel thing and the winning the rat race thing. For those of you who don't know my story, I started as a dishwasher in a pancake house. Okay, so I know what it is to struggle. I know what it is to have too much month left and not have the money lasting and ordering on the right side of the menu instead of the left side of the menu and making choices, everything on the money. I know what it is to say, okay, we've got $35 left on the credit limit. So if we go out to eat, we could spend, with the tip and everything, we could spend $32 because then the charge will probably get approved. But, don't go more than that. I've been there. And I also did the other thing. I said, because I started as a dishwasher, and then I became a waiter, and then a cook, and a manager trainee, and then an assistant manager. And my dream was one day I could be a restaurant manager. And I'd get to wear a tie, and I'd have a big ring of keys, And I could go around with a coffee pot. How's your dinner this evening? You know, and that would be making it. Okay? So that's what I did. I worked hard. I did everything they asked me to do, and I got promoted, and then they made me a restaurant manager. And all of a sudden, I was working 75 hours a week. Well, I didn't get paid anymore. See, I got a salary. There was no overtime. And all of a sudden, I realized I've got grill cooks who make more than I do. And they go home after 40 hours, and I'm here after 65 or 70 hours. And all of a sudden, I realized that my dream was really a nightmare. I said, okay, that's not it. The answer is I need to own my own restaurant. That's what it's got to be. If I could be, that's the American dream, to work hard, play by the rules, save up your money, and open up your own business. And so that's what I did. I opened up my own restaurant, me and a partner. Well, we didn't really have the money we needed to really start it right. We kind of bootstrapped it, and it was a disaster. And fortunately, after about 8-9 months, we were able to give it back to the guy who sold it to us. Okay? Now, I was a slow learner. I got in this business we're talking about tonight. I made some money, took that money. What did I do? Slow learner. I opened another restaurant. Okay? But still didn't have enough money to do it right, and I actually had that restaurant seized by the IRS and auctioned off on the courthouse steps. Okay? And let me tell you a secret. That was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Because I went from a restaurant manager to being a restaurant owner, which meant I worked about 85 or 90 hours a week. I worked 7 days a week for weeks at a time. Maybe once a month I would schedule a day off. A day off meant I could sleep a little later. I'd go into the restaurant. I'd do the schedule. I'd do the inventory. And if everybody showed up for the night shift, I could leave after a couple of hours. That was a day off. And if I wouldn't have had that whole thing implode on me, you know what? I'd still be working in that restaurant business in the rat race. And I'm telling you, there's people in this room tonight who are on the hamster wheel. And there's people in this room tonight who are winning a rat race but living like rats. I've been in both those situations. Fortunately, because that didn't work out for me, I got in this business tonight, and I became part of the third group of people I want to talk to you about. And that third group are the people who make an extraordinary amount of money, and more importantly, they enjoy an extraordinary lifestyle. They have financial freedom. If you've ever read the Kiyosaki Rich Dad, Poor Dad books, I think he makes a very good distinction about this. A lot of people talk about financial security. When I grew up, my mother used to tell me, go to school, get an education, get a job for a big company like General Motors or IBM, and you'll be set for life. And I think that was probably the predominant belief in the Midwest in America here at that time. And fortunately for me, now I was expelled from Madison West Senior High School, so I couldn't take my mother's advice. And GM didn't want to hire me, and neither did IBM. Okay? And what's happened, of course, since then, IBM laid off 60 or 80,000 people. GM's laid off about 250,000 people. And, of course, this is the environment right now. Corporate downsizing, right-sizing. We have so many people living on 100% of what they earn. Personal bankruptcies at an all-time high. There's just people not living in that third category, not enjoying the lifestyle which is out there. The lifestyle I believe we are meant to have. So that's really what tonight is about. We're going to show you how to escape the rat race and build a dream lifestyle with an Agel Enterprises business. Now, if you're here evaluating the business for the first time tonight, here's what I want you to know about it, because I want you to really understand what we've got here. Some of the benefits of this business: you're going to pick the people you work with. You're going to choose the hours that you work. Start it part-time with whatever you're doing right now. We recommend do it 10 hours a week. Keep your job, keep your business, whatever, but do this 10 hours a week. But you guys with the business, if you're like me, like that restaurant, I think it's the same for people with retail stores and beauty salons and restaurants and nightclubs. You don't own the business owns you. I think of Tim and Deborah back there, who are both MDs. Okay? Guys, together they were making $1 million a year. But you know what? It wasn't worth it. The price they paid for that wasn't worth the $1 million, and that's why they're with us in this room tonight. And I'm telling you, you know a lot of people like, you're either a person like that or you know some people like that. You're on the hamster wheel or you know some people on the hamster wheel. So the question I'd like you to think about is, if you saw a business that could show people how to get off the hamster wheel, if you saw a business that could show people how to escape the rat race, how lucrative could that business be for you? That's what we're talking about. So, choose the people, pick the hours, great tax benefits by having a home-based business. If you love to travel, like I love to travel, it gives you the opportunity. I'm actually on this trip. I'm just coming back from Australia and New Zealand, two of my favorite places in the whole wide world to visit. In a couple of weeks, I'll be in Paris, which is my most favorite place in the world to visit. From there, I'm going to Kiev and Moscow, which is just, be my fourth or fifth time there. Extraordinary. So if you like to travel, you get to do that in this business. And then there's a couple of benefits that I think probably supersede all the other ones. Number one, two of them in particular. Number one is we've got an unlimited income possibility here for you. Okay? If you want to make a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 a month, because that would change your lifestyle dramatically, and you could pay down your credit card debt, or you could put some money in your kids' college fund, a couple hundred, couple thousand a month would do something for you, you can do that with this Agile business. If you want to make $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month, you have that potential to do that with this Agile business. If you tell me, no, that's not, Randy, I want to make $50,000 a month, $60,000 a month, you know what? You can do that too, and I'm living proof of that sure as I'm standing here. You decide, what sandbox do you want to play in? How big do you want to do this thing? Because the only limit to this is going to be the limit of your vision. How big you want to ramp this thing up. Okay, so that's one of the two really important benefits. And the second one, and I think this may be the best of all, is you can become successful by helping other people reach success. And guys, that is really extraordinary. I think of someone like Agel right here in the first row, who's a lady I go to church with, who worked in the corporate world for 18 years, and in a few months period of time, she's made more money. She makes more money now with this business than she made there after 18 years. Okay? And after 18 years, she was basically thrown out on the street when the Hurricane Wilma came through Miami, and pretty much her boss called and said, we don't have a place anymore. We lost so much stuff. There's no payroll this week. You're not getting a paycheck. But fortunately, I had introduced her to Agile a few months before, and she's making more than she ever made after 18 years with them. Yeah. Billy and Wes, guys I play softball with. Adrian, Dave, guys I play softball with. Friends, family, people. I've been able to offer them what I have. Because understand, when I got in network marketing the first time, I came into this dead broke. Okay? And this time around, I didn't come into it dead broke. You know what? I came into it a wealthy man. I mean, I'd love to tell you some gripping story how I was sleeping under the bridge and Agile came along and saved me, but you know what? That's not true. I came into this pretty wealthy guy. But what this business did do is allow me to help the people around me, the people I care about, to get what I have, to create the same wealth for themselves. And that's what you can offer the people that you care about. So this is a very special business. Now, I have to warn you, this is not for everyone. And I'm not here to close you, to convince you, to sell you. Nobody's going to twist your arm. The person who invited you here tonight isn't going to close you, twist your arm, or do any techniques. We're not about that. We're looking for people who get it. Okay? What we're going to lay out for you tonight is an extraordinary convergence of events. Some things that are happening in the marketplace, in the world today. Economic factors, social factors, business factors, the fact that we're just launching Agile Enterprises right now, that we have this innovation and compensation plans, which might be the biggest one in the last 20 years, a product line that is absolutely geared to what the world needs right now. All of these things, have converged to create this extraordinary time, this perfect storm of opportunity, and frankly, we're looking for people who get it. And if you don't get it, we're going to thank you for being here and send you on your way, and that's okay. We appreciate that you made the time. But we're not here to close you. We have no emotional attachment in what decision you make. The same thing if you're watching this on video. Somebody sent you here because they think you got a shot to be one of the people who gets this. So I'm just putting that up front. We have no emotional attachment. If you get this, we want to work with you. And if you don't, we'll all still be friends.